Chaos in Venezuela. Secretary Mnuchin just announcing sanctions on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, as well as all of his assets here in the U.S.
All assets of Maduro subject to U.S. jurisdiction are frozen, and U.S. persons are prohibited from dealing with him.
Maduro is not just a bad leader, he is now a dictator.
Here now is Stuart Holliday, former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and CEO of Meridian International. Senator, Ambassador, will this have any effect on changing that regime?
I think it's the opening salvo in an effort to change the regime. You know, we have a long history in Venezuela and Latin America. We have to be very careful to try to force Maduro into a position, into a box, but without alienating the people. And what we've called for is free and fair elections, and what will the stick that's looming over Maduro would be any sort of sanctions to the energy sector.
What we are trying to do clearly is to prevent another Cuba, but to a certain extent Venezuela already is another Cuba, and it started before Maduro when Chavez was in power. Back in 2005, the Cubans actually took over the Venezuela office responsible for issuing passports and identity cards, which are very important for a whole range of things. So the Cubans really control a good part of that society already.
And that went both ways, of course. Chavez propping up the Castro regime with energy supplies. It is true that it's looking more and more like a repressive Castro-style regime, and I think that the next few days will be very, very critical to see how the people of Venezuela react, because in effect there's been a coup by a very small minority of people. 85% of the Venezuelan people do not want this constituent assembly, and they're going to have to take some serious action.
Well, it's a civil war or close to it, but very quickly, the fact is we don't want to do a lot of nation building. We've had bad experience there with that. On the other hand, we have a strong opposition there. We just have to empower them rather than go in and do something, right?
That's right. There will be nothing good that will come of the United States taking too front of a role in that situation, given the historical framework that exists there and the independence of the country. We tried that in 2002. But I think, again, the threat of escalating these energy sanctions, potentially powering the opposition, will be the way to go.
Ambassador Stuart Holliday, great to see you, Ambassador. Thank you very much.